My first month in practice, I think I made $50. I had one patient. If I hadn't met you guys and talked to you, I don't know if I was in practice. I might have given up. At the joint, I was seeing between 50 and 70 people a day. And I was gone for 12 hours, 3 days a week. It was hard to come home and be a present mom and not be irritable to my husband. But when I started working with you guys, I spend more time with them than I did when I was working part-time for someone. I hit 10, think 3 months in and 3 or 4 months in. And it's only gone up from there, which is just awesome. Did maybe $2,000 in November, and then it was 3 in December, and then 10,000 in January, 12,000 in February. Right now I'm already at 5K for April, and I was at like 1 or 1,500 this time last month. With my own practice, I've been able to see people that I really resonate well with, which doesn't drain me. I'm working less time and making more money. You've helped me to build a practice that I love, that I want to go to. I'm Dr. Morgan Towslee. I have a wellness heavy cash practice in Anchorage, Alaska, and I see a lot of pregnant mamas and kiddos too. I've been a chiropractor for a little over 6 years, and I've had my own practice.
Let's go. Walk me through the situation before we met 6 months ago.
I thought I was doing all the things that I needed to do to be successful. I was reaching out a lot to different companies with similar values and whatnot, and just trying to get myself out there in the community. I was also working part-time at the joint and splitting my time between that. I thought I was doing a lot of outreach, but when I talked to you, I realized I wasn't doing that much. You mentioned that things that get measured get improved. I've been living by that motto with business since meeting you. Since you helping me create that like spreadsheet and actually tracking my outreaches. I was only doing 5 a week, which felt like a lot, with advice from you about different ways to do outreach. Now I do between 20 and 25. It's been super helpful and hard for sure, but easier than I thought at the beginning.
I love it. Real quick, diving back into the beginning, because we met right after you officially opened, right? I think you had a real opening after we met, actually.
Yeah.
Like, how were you feeling before we met in starting a new practice? I know you're working both jobs and we're uncertain on the timelines and expectations for starting your practice and how long it would take to get off the ground.
Yeah, I thought that it was going to take at least a year to hit 10K revenue. My overhead's really low, which and it's like less than 2K a month. I thought it would take a long time to hit 10K. I think you helped me realize that's a limiting belief I had about things. I decided to let the joint go, even though I wasn't financially ready to do that. So I could put more into it. And then with the help from you and the advice every week and the encouragement and the hard talks too, humbling me as well, really helped me do so much better than I thought that I could. And I hit 10, think 3 months in, 3 or 4 months in. And it's only gone up from there, which is just awesome.
How were you feeling like beforehand? What were some of the emotions that you experienced? I know coming into this, it is definitely different than it is now, but if we can put ourselves back in that position before we met.
I was feeling excited to go off on my own, but a little bit afraid and not really knowing the business side of things. I feel and have felt like I'm a really good chiropractor, and I'm always learning, but I know how to adjust people. I know how to help them be healthier. But the business side felt really daunting and scary. And I felt like I was overcomplicating things and overthinking a lot of things, preventing me from taking the actions needed. I was trying to dive into books about how to give patients a really good experience. And you were like, you have to have patience. You have to have a good experience. And I think I had a little bit of imposter syndrome going on too. Like, who am I to open my own business? So many chiros in Anchorage. And I felt like you helped me address those first and foremost. It's from always being really honest with me and being able to tell if something wasn't sitting right with me. You asked, does this make sense? But I've never been able to be you. So if I say, yep, and you're like, okay, it doesn't though. You've told me, what restrictions are you feeling? So I guess uncertainty was a big emotion. Excitement too, about what was to come. And some fear.
What were your thoughts transitioning as we started working together? What were some of the thoughts as you went through that process?
Yeah. After our first meeting, I was like, wow, there's a lot that I didn't know. And I felt like something big was going to happen. Working with you, I could just tell. And that made me a little scared too. Oh gosh, like he's not going to just sit here and listen. And like, you were really, hey, we're not going to do this unless you're going to follow action. And I just
Mm,
felt how, I don't know, I guess the right word for it, but your integrity with it just really resonated with me about that. Just made me really want to put in effort more than I already wanted to.
let's
So
go. Yeah. I love it. And you took the action. Yeah. I wasn't going to let you just listen and not do the stuff that we're talking about too.
yeah, that's what I appreciated. You were like, hey, if you don't take action, you're not going to see changes. And that it's not so simple, but I felt like I needed to hear it.
Yeah.
'Cause like we talked about before, I was putting energy into all these different buckets of what I
Mm,
thought needed to do to have a good practice. And I think you provided me clarity about what I really needed to focus on. I'm still focused,
right.
that clarity in putting my efforts into that one thing has been instrumental in getting
Yeah.
things.
Let's go. At the time, what do you feel like, let's look at before and after how your family's been impacted by you starting to make this transition. I know you have a young kid and your
Yeah.
husband, obviously, and walk through that process and how they saw the change and what pressures they had before and after and so forth.
Yeah. My husband, super amazing guy. He's been so supportive, but he's definitely more of the practical one between us. I'm a dreamer and I'm like, everything's going to be fine. He's a lawyer and really positive too, but he's one looking at our cash flow. It's okay. And he knew how important it was for me and for both of us, for me to be able to work part time and be with my toddler. I never thought that I would need to do that or wanted to do that until I had him. And that's what sparked me into wanting to open my own versus working
Yeah.
40. And so my husband's been supportive, but practical at the same time. He was uncertain about my decision to quit at the joint. But when I started working with you guys, even though there was stuff that was uncomfortable for me to do, like the outreaches and that sort of thing. After a little bit of time, things started to really take off for me. And that's been life changing for my family
Yeah.
too, because it's been happening faster than we thought. I'm
Mm.
almost able to pay us as much as my husband while working half the time, which
Let's
is just
go.
like super awesome. And he loves it too. It's just great to be able to be present for my son. And you've helped me. We're still building, but to build a practice that I love, that I want to
Yeah.
go to, that has my kind of people and that
Yeah.
people value versus
Yeah.
me scrambling to get anybody in. It's been people
Right.
that and you've helped me find those people and create a practice that I love.
You've been doing all the steps. I just think back 6 months ago, imagine where you'd be now if you hadn't applied all these, like if you'd showed up but hadn't applied anything, where would your practice be?
I also felt like after talking with you, I got this mentality of no matter what, I'm not going to give up. And I quite had that when I talked to you. Part of me was like, if it doesn't work out, I can still work at the joint. And I feel like with talking with you, we were like, no, that's not even going to be an option. There's a reason I decided to start this. And I think once I let go of that safety net in my head, I could go back to that.
Right.
If I hadn't met you guys and talked to you, I don't know if I can practice. I might have given up.
Crazy.
In my head, I'm like, no, it would have been fine, but I really don't know.
Yeah.
I tell my friends, Suze and Kira, that connected me with you all the time. I'm like, dude, Chris and JoJo are so awesome. I'm like, thank you. I'm always texting them about, just been the biggest blessing being connected with you.
Yeah.
So,
Let's go. I love it. I love it. How are you feeling about all this stuff since the beginning? Walk through the emotions. What are you able to do now that you weren't able to before?
just with having my practice being successful and everything,
Yeah.
I have more energy at the end of every day because I'm working 4 or 5 hours a day and seeing a lot less people than I was.
Yeah.
At the joint, I was seeing between 50 and 70 people a day. And I was gone for 12 hours, 3 days a week. It was hard to come home and be a present
Right.
mom and not be irritable to my husband and
Mm,
just that amount of people. And
yeah.
and not really getting to decide who I saw either. Now, with my own practice, I've been able to see people that I really resonate well with, which doesn't drain me. I'm working less time and making more money. So it's just all the things that like you dream,
Yeah.
just been,
You make your job more, you make more from it, and you work less hours.
Yeah. And I feel like now I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to dream bigger. One of
Yeah.
our last talks we had, you were like, so why? And I'm like, I want to be able to afford my unlimited Pure Bar membership and buy coffee. And you're like, you already do all that. But now I'm like, okay, we're working towards 20K now. And if you brought that up to me in October, I would have been like, no, like I'm never going to make 20K. And now it's like on the horizon, like we're shooting for 15K for April. And it's just awesome. I feel like I'm more present with patients because I love what I do and I charge what I'm worth. I feel like people value it and it's a much better headspace, even though there's a lot of work with outreaches and whatnot. It's like a choose your hard situation. I just really like the path that I chose.
Let's go. I love that. And even Lena, I want to like touch on this too. You're able to spend more time with your son, which is the biggest priority for your life, is making sure you're super present with him.
Yeah. And you've been so on board with that the whole time. I feel like every time we talk about me making more, I'm like, okay, but I'm not going to spend more time away from Jude. But they're like, that's the goal always. I spend more time with him than I did when I was working part-time for someone else. It's been great.
100%. That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit on the metrics. Like, where are our numbers at now? I know we talked about our goal for this month is hitting 15. Where are we at now? Can you walk me through some of the last few months and what you've been hitting?
Yeah. My first month in practice, I think I made $50. I had one patient. I thought it was going to be a trajectory like this, but it was more like that. I did maybe $2,000 in November, and then it was 3 in December, and then 10,000 in January, 12,000 in February, 10,000 I think was in February, maybe 12 was in March. Big trajectory. Right now I'm already at 5K for April, and I was at like 1 or 1,500 this time last month. So definitely on track to hopefully hit 15.
Yeah, let's go. I would love to dive into why you even made that initial commitment in the first place. I'd love to dive into more so on anything else you might want to share about your experience with us and that kind of deal.
Yeah. I feel what made me really want to take action after talking with you guys is just confidence that I felt in you immediately. Like you just really know your stuff and you give information and advice in a way that's like digestible and you don't like skip over things that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just feel very seen and heard when I talk to you guys and you help me solve problems that I bring up. I'm like, hey, what about this? And you always have a solution, which is just like incredible. Definitely helpful with the outreach and the marketing, but then also it's like almost like a therapy too. Yeah, one thing was like with the measurable goals that we set in place with the spreadsheet you helped me make. I, of course, want to hit the goals for myself too, but I want to hit the goals for you guys too. If you're putting in work, I want to make you guys proud too. If you're putting in so much to help me and you're investing your time and that's not something that you had to do. How responsive you guys are. Tech and with wins, it's super like just the best cheerleaders and you get the ins and outs of my business too. You know how much things mean when they happen. Like my family's amazing and they try to be supportive too, but they're not here like in it with me. What it means when I hit 10K, how much effort it took to get that. I felt like a team from the beginning.
Is there anything else that you'd want to share about your experience?
I would say that working with Chiropractic and Chris and JoJo has been the best thing that I could have done for my business. It would be dumb to not work with them is how I feel. I just feel so lucky that Susan Kira mentioned you guys. I know for a fact I wouldn't even be a quarter of like where I'm at now without the help and the intention that you guys have, the morale, the thought process behind everything. Just unmatched. It's worth every moment, every penny. I tell every chiropractor trying to build their practice that I like most people. There's not a lot of people I don't like, but I tell them about you guys because it's just been the best possible thing that I could have done for my business. Just game changing. And I'm so happy you had me raise prices. And at first I really didn't want to. I was like, you feel nauseous about it. Oh, good. And it ended up being great. You have helped me overcome limiting beliefs about valuing myself, what I
Yeah.
provide, and how that actually helps patients long term too. When I value myself more, the right people come to me that way. You guys are just so responsive and help me overcome obstacles. And then the honesty that you provide too. I can't say enough good things about it. It's been the best thing that I've done for business. So
Let's go. That pumps me up a ton. It means a lot to me. We'll
good.
see if other people resonate with it, but
Well,
thank you so much for even taking the time and scheduling time to talk through this. It's seriously been so cool. So many people struggle with making that commitment and doing the actions. And how can we be better coaches? Because you locked in and you were like, hey, let's do it. You just went and did it. And so that makes our job way easier when it's like, you were just like, cool, let's apply the stuff learning in the way that it's meant to be applied. Not, oh, I changed this because I wasn't comfortable. You're like, hey, I'm going to actually apply it in the way that it's being taught. And that's one thing that I'm really trying to grasp. How do we turn people's attitudes into one that's cool? Let's implement this in this way and work through the discomfort instead of trying to make us feel more comfortable with it. Because you're someone I point to where your attitude far better than most people.
really?
You're in the top 5 of people that we've worked with as far as your willingness to just implement stuff.
I think you guys are great motivators. I can't really think of ways you could be better because I just feel like you guys are
Killing it.
You guys are just so awesome. For me, one of my motivating factors intrinsically is I make myself proud. I just feel like there's a lot of mindset too, with working through limiting beliefs about ourselves, whether things are just thoughts or if they're actually true, and
Right.
differentiate with your syndrome and stuff. I feel like that helps too. And
Yeah.
thinking about what would happen if you don't do the action and you don't succeed,
Yeah.
that's very motivating for me because I'm like, I don't want to go back and work for someone else. I don't want to be away from my son for longer. I just was imagining my life as an associate forever. And that just sounded terrible. It was very motivating.
Yeah. You're like, I don't want to do this again. I'm done.
Yeah, I kicked that. And you really helped me with that because I feel like our minds will try to create safety nets, but it can stop. If you think about it in your mind, it can stop yourself from getting to where you want to be. I'm doing this no matter what. And I think it's coming to that realization because when I wasn't making much in December, when I was planning on being done that month, and I was like, nope, not doing that, you know. So I think I did 10 outreaches that day.
I was talking to another one of our partners today, and he is in a similar position to where you were at a while back. And for him, like we've had these outreaches, like this list of outreaches of 150 people to reach out to these people that he has. So it's not like it's anything crazy. These are patients that he's seen, right? And let's reach out to each of them this week. And it's been like 2 weeks, and I think we've reached out to about 50. What's holding us back from sending these texts out or giving these people a call? And I think the question is simple. This is a life or death thing. Are you really doing every single thing you possibly could to make sure that you live? And the answer was no, not every single thing. And it was like, cool. I know we're doing this for your family. Are we okay at the end of the day saying, hey, yeah, I'm doing every single thing I can. Right. But a lot of times we are putting in a good day's work, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why we don't feel like, oh yeah, I got a lot done today. I feel really productive. I feel like today was a good day. Like we didn't get much done. And when we're business owners, a lot of that is revenue wise. Like we could see a lot of patients, but if we're not doing the things we need to do to grow, then we really haven't been that productive. I think it's just interesting to me because if we like really look at this, are we really doing everything we possibly can to be putting ourselves in positions to get to the goals we have?
Yeah, like your analogy about the different fires. I just keep thinking about that because as I'm getting busier, thank God I don't really bill insurance because I can't even imagine. But there's just been not a lot, just little things here and there. So I went and met with another chiropractor that does a different technique than me down the street. And we just had a little bit. And then I made the flyers for a midwife that has been referring patients to me. And I went and dropped those off. And then I posted that flyer on 3 different moms' Facebook pages that I was part of. And I was trying to think of what I could do to try to make that time like worth it still. Where I'm trying to, like you said, make sure I'm doing everything that I can to hit the goals. But then I feel like one thing for me too is like I have to make sure to take care of myself too, work out and have some time to just relax, because then it opens up my
Mhm.
capacity too.
It's like you don't have any patience. There's nothing else to do, you know? And
Mhm.
so like having a number of outreaches or a set goal helps a lot with that. 'Cause, cool. If I just stay consistent, I'll hit my goal. But I can do more. It's cool. Then let's raise the goal. If we can consistently do more, then let's raise the goal. But if we can't consistently do more, then like us spending this extra time, there's a reason we have rest. There's a reason we have these other things built in so we can do this in the long term.